In the summer of 1982, the Argentine national team arrived at the World Cup in Spain as the reigning champions. They carried a historic mission and a dream team, a perfect blend of seasoned veterans who had lifted the World Cup in 1978 and a young, ambitious squad led by the genius Diego Maradona. With their flamboyant South American-style attacking football and superb individual technique, they were not only there to defend their title, but also to reaffirm the dominant position of Argentine football. That generation etched into the memories of fans images of passion, mesmerizing passing, and even tears of regret. But behind the glamour of those white and blue striped jerseys lay unique destinies, life's turning points that no script could have predicted. More than 40 years have passed, and time has etched indelible marks on their lives. Some have become living legends, some have tasted the bitterness of power, and some have ended their journey leaving the world with immeasurable sorrow. Let's revisit the tumultuous lives of the brightest stars in the 1982 Argentina team, a golden generation that was cut short but immortal. At the age of 27, Mario Kempes at the 1982 World Cup was a symbol of a glorious past. He was El Matador, the hero of the 1978 World Cup victory. In the tournament in Spain, he played the role of a leading figure in the attack. Although not as explosive as he had been 4 years earlier, his runs still exuded danger. His positioning was exquisite, and his finishing was thunderous. Mario Kempes was a bridge between two generations and a source of inspiration for his younger teammates. After that tournament, Kempes' career began to decline, but it was a gentle and enriching period. He left Valencia to embark on a nomadic football journey, playing in Spain, Austria, and even spending his final days in distant Indonesia. Kempes didn't win any more major titles, but he earned absolute respect wherever he went for his professionalism and pure love of the game. Away from the pitch, Kempes' life has been quite peaceful, a stark contrast to his teammate Maradona. He underwent serious heart surgery in the 2000s, a major event that made him appreciate life even more. Instead of pursuing the high-pressure path of coaching, Kempes found new joy in commentary. His deep, resonant voice and extensive knowledge have made him one of the most beloved Spanish-language football commentators in the world. Today, at age 70, Mario Kempes lives a peaceful life and remains connected to football through his role as a television commentator for ESPN. He is living proof that after the dazzling glory, heroes can still find happiness in simplicity, continuing to inspire passion in future generations with words rather than their feet. Osvaldo Beatty. Aussie. Ardiles, 29 years old, entered the 1982 World Cup with the most conflicting emotions among the Argentinian players. On the field, he was the team's lungs, a small but extremely skillful, intelligent, and tireless midfielder. But off the field, his heart was bleeding. At that time, the Falklands/Malvinas War between Argentina and England was raging. As an idol playing in England for Tottenham Hotspur, and with his cousin killed in the war, Ardiles had to play under tremendous psychological pressure that few could understand. After the tournament, due to political tensions, Ardiles couldn't return to England immediately and had to move to PSG for a short time. However, his love for Tottenham and the love of the London fans for him overcame everything. He returned, continued to shine, and became a legend of the Spurs. After retiring, Ardiles embarked on an adventurous coaching career, managing teams from England and Japan to Mexico. Ardiles' life has been a series of optimistic days, despite having faced death before. In 2014, he was involved in a serious traffic accident in the Falkland Islands while filming a documentary, miraculously surviving. He always maintained a gentle smile, serving as a cultural bridge between English and Argentinian football, bridging political animosities through the language of the sport. Today at 72, Osvaldo Ardiles remains a global ambassador for Tottenham Hotspur. He lives a peaceful life, enjoying immense respect in North London and his homeland. His story is proof that football has the power to heal even the deepest wounds of history. At the 1982 World Cup at the age of 26, Jorge Valdano was not yet a leading player. He played modestly, mostly from the bench, overshadowed by the immense presence of Kempes and Maradona. However, even in those brief moments, Valdano displayed a composed, intelligent, and thoughtful style of play. He didn't just run and shoot. He also thought about the game. In his role at that time, Valdano was like a low note, waiting for the moment to soar into a heroic anthem. And that moment arrived 4 years later. Valdano was a key player, scoring in the 1986 final, Maradona's trusted right-hand man. After a brilliant playing career at Real Madrid, he transitioned to coaching and management, making a significant contribution to building the Galacticos empire. But what made Valdano special was his profound intellect. He was dubbed the philosopher of football, capable of transforming events on the pitch into philosophical literary works. He wrote books, gave speeches, and viewed football through the lens of culture and society. Valdano's life is a testament to extraordinary resilience. In 2006, he was involved in a horrific helicopter crash in Mexico. The plane crashed and was shattered, but Valdano miraculously survived with severe injuries. This ordeal did not break him. Instead, it deepened his perspective on life. He lives with the serenity of someone who has faced death firsthand, cherishing every moment and dedicating his intellect to the world. Today at 69, Jorge Valdano remains one of the most respected voices in the world of football. He appears in the media as a sharp analyst and a prolific writer. His story reminds us that footballers possess not only legs, but also a brilliant mind. Daniel Passarella, 29 years old at the 1982 World Cup, was the supreme leader of the defense, El Gran Capitán, the great captain. He was not only a rock in the backline with his aggressive playing style and excellent aerial ability, but also a rare goal-scoring center back in football history with his powerful left-footed free kicks. On the Spanish pitch, Passarella appeared as a courageous warrior, commanding the Argentinian defense against some of the world's top strikers. Passarella's career after 1982 continued to flourish in Italy, with Fiorentina and Inter Milan, where he established himself as one of the best defenders in the world in the 1980s. After retiring from playing, he became a successful coach, leading both the Argentina and Uruguay national teams. But the biggest turning point, and also the greatest tragedy of his career, came when he became president of River Plate. From a legendary position, his presidency ended in disaster when River Plate were relegated for the first time in history, severely tarnishing his image in the eyes of the club's fans. Passarella's personal life is a somber tapestry of unspeakable pain. He suffered the greatest tragedy a father can endure, the loss of his son Sebastian in a car accident in 1995. That grief changed him forever, turning him into a quieter and more withdrawn man. Recently, rumors of declining health and memory have surrounded him, evoking deep sympathy. Today, at age 71, Daniel Passarella has completely withdrawn from public football life, living a secluded life with his family. While controversies surrounding his managerial role remain, world football history will forever remember him as one of the greatest central defenders, the only captain to have twice lifted the World Cup trophy with Argentina, although he did not play in 1986. Diego Maradona in the Argentina squad that year was only 21 years old, yet he carried the hopes of an entire nation on his shoulders. He was also a precious gem, the soul of the team's attacking play with his magical left foot. Although his 1982 World Cup ended on a bitter note with a red card against Brazil, his dazzling dribbling, his ability to keep the ball firmly at his feet, and his forward-thinking footballing philosophy signaled to the world that a new king was about to be crowned. At 21, Diego Maradona played with the wildness and instinct of a genius yet to be fully refined. Leaving Spain with sadness, few knew that it was just the low point before Diego's life symphony reached its most brilliant peak. His subsequent career was a dramatic action film. He moved to Barcelona for a record price, but it was at Napoli that he truly became a legend. Diego single-handedly led Napoli from a mid-table team to the pinnacle of Serie A. And 4 years after his failure in Spain, he single-handedly carried Argentina to the top of the world at Mexico '86. However, along with ultimate glory came deep abysses. Doping scandals, troubles with the mafia, and a protracted battle with drugs wore down the golden boy. He retired with regret, leaving behind a massive legacy and endless controversies. Diego's personal life was as tumultuous as his football career. He was a family man, but also the center of numerous romantic scandals. He loved passionately, lived instinctively, and always sided with the poor. Despite his body being ravaged by a wild lifestyle and a series of surgeries, Diego always appeared with a cheerful smile, participated in charitable activities, and wasn't afraid to express his political views. Perhaps the contrast between an angel on the pitch and a flawed person off the field is what made him so relatable and beloved. He embodied imperfection, but was full of emotion. However, that glorious and bitter journey came to an abrupt end, shocking the world. On November 25, 2020, Diego Maradona passed away at the age of 60 due to cardiac arrest. His death left a vast void. A national funeral was held in Argentina, and millions mourned the god of football. His legacy is not just his incredible goals, but an enduring inspiration of a man who lived and burned brightly until his last breath. Alberto Tarantini, also known as Conejo. The rabbit entered the 1982 tournament at the age of 26 with long flowing hair and a fiery playing style. He was a modern fullback, tirelessly attacking and defending, but also famous for his hot-tempered and wild personality. On the Spanish pitch, Tarantini was always at the center of fierce challenges. His whirlwind runs down the left flank became a symbol of Argentina's sometimes extreme determination that year. Tarantini's career was a roller coaster. He was one of the few Argentinian players at the time to move to England, playing for Birmingham City right after their 1978 league title win, before returning to play for two rival giants, Boca Juniors and River Plate. However, the rabbit's life off the pitch was as wild as his hair. All-night parties, a flamboyant lifestyle, and even drug-related troubles led to his downfall. He was the embodiment of a rock star in a footballer's body, talented but riddled with scars. However, what is admirable is how Tarantini found his balance again. After years of youthful impulsiveness, he gradually learned to control himself. He didn't deny his past, but confronted it as a valuable lesson. In the years after his retirement, he became involved in media work, offering incisive, frank, yet experienced perspectives on football. Today at 69, Alberto Tarantini has found peace. Although he still retains some of the ruggedness of his younger days, he is now a more composed man, frequently appearing on football commentary programs in Argentina. He is proof that no matter how lost one may be, there is always a chance to turn back and rediscover oneself. Ramon Diaz, the 22-year-old, was Maradona's perfect attacking partner at that tournament. Quick, skillful, and possessing an exceptionally good left foot, Diaz scored against Brazil, leaving his mark as a promising penalty box assassin. His performance that year was a testament to a burgeoning talent ready to make his mark on the world stage. Diaz's playing career subsequently flourished in Europe with Napoli, Avellino, Fiorentina, Inter Milan, and Monaco. He was a modern, effective, and technically gifted striker. However, his later coaching career was a truly glorious chapter. Ramon Diaz became one of the most successful coaches in River Plate's history, and later embarked on trophy-winning adventures in the Middle East. In his personal life, Ramon Diaz was a quiet but extremely sharp and ambitious man. He always maintained the elegant demeanor of a gentleman, but inside, the fighting spirit never died out. He also knew how to balance pressure, always keeping his family away from media scrutiny. Today, at 65 years old, Ramon Diaz is still diligently working on the coaching bench. He continues to challenge himself in new football environments, currently very successful in Brazil, proving that the tactical thinking and desire to win of the young striker he once was remain intact over the years. At the age of 31, Ubaldo El Pato Filol was Argentina's most reliable goalkeeper. With lightning-fast reflexes and the ability to save incredible shots, Filol was considered one of the best goalkeepers in the world at the time. At the 1982 World Cup, despite Argentina's defeat, Filol's individual performance was still top class, making numerous crucial saves for his team against pressure from Brazil and Italy. Leaving Spain, Filol continued his enduring journey. He moved to Atletico Madrid, then returned to South America to play for Flamengo and Racing Club. Remarkably, the Duck, his nickname, showed remarkable resilience playing at the highest level until he was 40 years old. He never lost his focus and desire to win, even in the final years of his career. In real life, Filol is a family man with a straightforward and outspoken personality. He has had intense conflicts with coaches and the federation in defending the rights of players. But this is precisely what earned him the respect of his colleagues. He also dedicated much of his time to training young players, passing on his invaluable experience to the next generation of goalkeepers in Argentine football. Today, at the age of 74, Ubaldo Filol remains involved in football through advisory and coaching roles at the AFA Argentine Football Association. He is living a fulfilling old age, proudly looking back on a career in which he redefined the role of goalkeeper with his legendary diving saves. Daniel Bertoni, 27, arrived at the 1982 World Cup as a hero who scored the winning goal in the 1978 final. In Spain, he continued to demonstrate his class as a major star with 2 goals against Hungary and El Salvador. Bertoni was a complete attacking player, technically gifted, strong, and possessing powerful long-range shots. He was a solid anchor for his teammates when the game was deadlocked, a killer with a cool face but a passionate heart. After the tournament, Bertoni continued his journey to conquer Europe at Fiorentina and Napoli, where he played alongside his close friend, Diego Maradona. However, life wasn't always a bed of roses. After retiring, Bertoni faced the most difficult battle of his life: prostate cancer. It was no longer a 90-minute fight, but a daily struggle for survival. With the spirit of a world champion, he fought bravely and triumphed over the disease. Beyond football, Bertoni is a successful figure in scouting and player agency. He possesses a keen eye for discovering young talent and always works with dedication, avoiding the shady dealings of football agents. He lives a private life, cherishes his family and old friends, and maintains the demeanor of a seasoned gentleman. Today, at age 69, Daniel Bertoni is enjoying a fulfilling life. He continues to comment on football and share his story of overcoming illness to inspire others in similar situations. His image is a symbol of unwavering willpower, never giving up in the face of adversity, whether on the pitch or in the hospital. Americo Tolo Gallego, 27 years old, was a cornerstone of Argentina's midfield in 1982. If Ardiles was the artist, then Gallego was the bodyguard. With his fearless playing style, excellent ball-winning and tackling abilities, he was the springboard for Maradona and Kempes to shine further up the field. Gallego played with tenacity and iron discipline, an indispensable element in Coach Menotti's tactical system. After retiring from playing, Gallego made a spectacular transformation to become one of the most successful coaches in the history of Argentine football. He set an unprecedented record by winning the domestic league title with 4 different clubs: River Plate, Independiente, Newell's Old Boys, and Toluca of Mexico. His coaching style mirrored his playing style, strict, disciplined, but highly effective. He was respectfully called teacher by his players, a strict father figure who always protected them from public criticism. Gallego's personal life was quite private. He was a traditional man, rarely sharing details about his family in the media. Despite his somewhat rough and gruff appearance, those close to him knew he was a very emotional and honorable man. He spent most of his free time on his farm, finding joy in the countryside, far from the hustle and bustle of city life. Today, at age 69, Americo Gallego has retired, enjoying his old age with his children and grandchildren. Although he no longer stands on the sidelines, shouting instructions, the tactical legacy and winning spirit he left behind remain valuable lessons for younger generations of coaches in South America. Gabriel Calderón was the youngest player in that attacking lineup at just 22 years old. Although he didn't start regularly, whenever he was brought on, Calderón brought a breath of fresh air with his blistering speed and dazzling dribbling on the wing. He represented youth and a burning desire to prove himself amidst a sea of stars. His performances, however brief, caught the eye of European scouts. After the 1982 World Cup, Calderón had a brilliant career in France with PSG before the oil era, and later with Real Betis in Spain. He was one of the most beloved Argentinian players in Paris in the 1980s. After retiring, Calderón became a true football missionary. He spent much of his coaching career in the Middle East, leading teams such as Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, and Oman. He not only taught football, but also brought professional culture to new lands. In real life, Calderón is known as a polite, multilingual individual with a compassionate heart. He is an active ambassador for FIFA and UNICEF, participating in numerous community football development projects. He believes that football is a universal language that can bridge all religious and ethnic gaps. Today at 64, Gabriel Calderón is still working tirelessly as a FIFA instructor and technical consultant. He travels the world training coaches, bringing invaluable experience from his playing days to nurture future generations. A life of constant travel, driven by his love of football. At 34 years old at the 1982 World Cup, Luis Galván was the oldest player, a seasoned veteran. Unlike Passarella's aggressive style, Galván played with calmness, keen judgment, and a rare grace for a central defender. He didn't need many tackles because he always knew how to be in the right place to neutralize threats. He was a silent but incredibly reliable defensive anchor. Luis Galván's life story after the spotlight is a poignant and thought-provoking one. Unlike his teammates who became millionaires or famous coaches, Galván chose an extremely humble, even difficult life. He dedicated his entire life to Talleres de Córdoba. After retiring, he had to take on many side jobs to make ends meet, from coaching youth teams for a meager salary to working at a driving school. He embodies the opposite: a great world champion on the field, yet a simple, hard-working man struggling to make ends meet in real life. However, Galván never complained. He lived with great self-respect and absolute humility. He refused to sell his priceless memorabilia even in times of hardship. For him, honor and memory were priceless. The nobility of his character led Córdoba fans to regard him as a living saint. Today at 76, Luis Galván lives a peaceful life in his hometown. He continues to support youth training in Talleres, where a monument has been erected in his honor. His story is a gentle yet profound reminder: glory may fade, money may run out, but a person's dignity endures through time.